Hafide and buenas tardes todos hamzu. Thank you so much for joining all of us this afternoon. And before we proceed with today's resolution presentation, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Joining me for this afternoon's resolution presentation we have the speaker, Tina Munya-Barnes, who has been a long cultural advocate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we also have Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee, who is also a cultural advocate. Thank you, Senators, for joining us today for this resolution presentation. And then also joining us this afternoon, we have a very sizable group, which I'm very pleased to see. So, Sijuas Maasi for coming out and really supporting and showcasing the whole industry, the slinging industry, but those that have brought it back and made it an everyday word and an everyday event. So, Sijuas Maasi for coming out here. We have members of TASA, the Seafaring Society. We have E Familia Zan I Mangatsong Ginen Luta. We have Foci Industries. Purebred Academy Guam. Sandra Iseki Okada, President of TASA. Stephen Roberto, founder of Purebred Academy Guam. Many wonderful guests. When I was meeting some of you earlier, I went over to this section and I was asking the young gentlemen there, and I said, well, how many of you have learned to sling? And like everybody raised their hands. So that's wonderful to see. And I also want to recognize Brandon Vera, who is also here. Yes, and we also have Rita Nauta from Guampedia. Sijuas Maasi. We are recognizing Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario and Mr. Roman de la Cruz for raising attention to slinging. It is a deep-rooted cultural skill with extensive history throughout the world. We also convey our appreciation to Ben and Roman for representing Guam and representing, perhaps even more so, the culture of the Marianas and winning first place. In the world's largest sling stone competition that was held last month at Mallorca, Spain, made possible by the help of so many of you that are here today. Before we begin the resolution presentation, we have a short video that they were kind enough to go out there and film with us that we want to share. In this way, we can get to know Ben and Roman a little better. We can get to know their hard work, their international achievement of bringing Guam and the Marianas to the forefront of Mallorca's 16th nation slinging competition, but most importantly, the investment of time and resources from family, friends, and the community at large that have expressed unwavering support for Ben and Roman achieving that first place in Spain. So with that,
Off day, my name is Roman de la Cruz and I'm a stone slinger. I've been doing this now for about just over 10 years, and initially didn't really know what to do with slinging, but now over a decade later, now we're associated with a group of over 30 slingers, and now we have a place to go, which is Majorca. And a lot of what we're doing over here is building towards a bigger event, which is the 500-year commemoration of Guam's first meeting with Spain. We started competing in 2017 in the idea of seeing how we stand against, to test ourselves against the world's best in slinging, but more importantly was to announce ourselves. It was we found it strange that there was a world conversation going on in slinging with so many countries, and we found it odd that Guam was never mentioned in this mix. So in the course of finding this out, we thought that competing in the World Championships would be our best asset. So 2019, we're 3 tournaments in finally, and we're hoping to be coming back again and again.
Today, Manana Jesus. My name is Golu. Sorry. Actually, I've been slinging for quite a while. I've been for maybe 17, 18 years, and my main goal here is to revive the culture of slinging. So a couple years ago, I set up a ladder and I put up a ladder and I said, okay, now the sling world is going to start climbing, and we're going to start teaching. So I believe that perpetuating the culture of slinging to the young generation is history that we need to pass on to the next generation. And we know that the slinging in Guam has been a history for the Chamorro people for over thousands and thousands of years. And teaching the young generation how to sling and properly and safety is very important, because getting hurt, we want to avoid everything from anybody getting hurt. So now we have a group of maybe 30, 35 slingers in Guam that will come every Wednesday and sling on every Wednesday. So now it's not just kids that are coming or younger generation. We have people that are like 70 years old now coming around, slinging. So we're now trying to promote this as the younger generation, the older generation, or the middle age, and then the manamko, and also for the women. So we have different categories, and that's the only way where we can, get more knowledge from the manamko and pass it more, down to the younger generation.
It is now my honor to call forward both Mr. Guelo Rosario and Mr. Roman de la Cruz. I have long admired them. Please come forward and so for the resolution, relative to recognizing Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario and Mr. Roman de la Cruz for representing Guam at the Dir de Fona International 6th, the world's largest slingstone competition, which was held in Mallorca, Spain, and to congratulating them on winning first place. Be it resolved by the Committee on Rules of I-35 na Legislatura in Guahan, Imanautamotna Chamorro ancestors used atso atupat as weapons. Atso atupat were fashioned from either limestone, basalt, or fire-hardened clay of various sized shapes at both ends and hurled from a sling of pandanus or coconut fiber with deadly force and accuracy. The atso atupat and its iconography, there we go, are exemplified within the design of the official Guam flag to include various prevailing forms of modern art and structural design. Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario is a well-regarded cultural practitioner who is known for being an avid promoter of the Chamorro culture and has skills in constructing a range of traditional guma. He also continues to improve his knowledge of celestial navigation and canoe building. This year, Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario and Mr. Roman de la Cruz participated in the Tir de Fona Internacional 6th, the world's largest slingstone competition, which was held in Mallorca, Spain, and won first place in the individual category, competing against more than 15 other nations. Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario and Mr. Roman de la Cruz have dynamically elevated awareness within the Mariana Islands and abroad of an ancient Chamorro practice and are to be commended for perpetuating the Chamorro culture. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Committee on Rules of I-35 na Legislatura en Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the legislature and the people of Guam, recognize Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario and Mr. Roman de la Cruz for proudly representing Guam at the Tir de Fona Internacional 6th, which was held in Mallorca, Spain, and congratulate them on winning first place. And be it further resolved that the Speaker and the Chairperson of the Committee of Rules, who are both here on either side, and the Legislative Secretary attest to and adopt herein that copies of the same be transmitted to both Mr. Ben Guelo Rosario and to Mr. Roman de la Cruz and to the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero y Magahagan Guahan. This was duly and regularly adopted by the Committee on Rules, and it was signed by the Speaker, the Committee Chair on Rules, and the Legislative Secretary. So, with that, if you could share that, hold that, I guess, and here we can. We'd also like to call them to say something, should they like to share.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for this. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? This definitely wouldn't be possible without without the help of our group of slingers. So the Stoners, thank you very much. You know, Otsu Marianas, and really, it's been an excellent opportunity, a really good breakthrough practice. That is a good way to get your foot in the door for culture. You know, hopefully you'll bust that door wide open and go through and explore, but at least we have this. We're excited about it. I think we're still, even though it's been with us for our ancestors for thousands of years, we're still pretty new to the game. You know, big respect to all our fellow world slingers out there. You know, we have a long way to go. There's tremendous talent out there. There's tremendous skill. But now we have an island conscious of an old practice, and hopefully we have a growing effort towards a larger event that we're planning for in 2021. 2021 is going to mark 500 years of the first contact between Guam and Spain. So we are getting the ball rolling, or the stone rolling rather, and we're trying to build an event or we will build an international event for Mes Chamorro.
And of course, thank you always to Guelu. Guelu's been a mentor, not just to me, but for many in culture and in sport. You know, going out there, traveling out there with him, every time it's like, you know, we can talk, we can have the conversations with all these other people from around the world asking us about tomorrow. So I just say this, and I say, here it is, you know what I mean? And then he's a living ancient tomorrow. And with that, thank you very much. Sana maasi Guelu.
Afide, Sana Masi. Yeah. The magic word here is manhobin. Yeah. So where me and Roman, we have already all this white beard coming out. We need to have all the manhobin, you know, start slinging, and let's bring the manhobin to the next generation, to the sling world. And we're going to bring the world to Guam, and we're going to sling here for Guam's world championship in slinging. So it's coming out soon. Don't be surprised. But Famagun is the magic word. And we need to, senators, it's the Famagun that we need to pass this on. So I know there's a lot of money out there for the kids. Thank you. Nothing for us, but there's plenty for you. You guys are the next leaders for tomorrow. So I want to say this, that Senator Dr. Taitano, you are a new slinger. I'm challenging her. We have a Sling Wednesday tonight. I want to see her there. You guys want to see her there? Yeah. Right on. Sidus Masi, Sana Masi, adios.
So I'd like to recognize two other individuals and then to call forward the Manhoven so we can do a large group photo and everyone here. So we also are very privileged to have Sarah Felish Camacho here, the former Miss Earth Guam, who is also a film director, wife of Frank the Crank. Yeah. And Palu Larry Regatel, who is a master navigator of TASA. So indeed, we have a wonderful, like star-filled hearing room today. So Sainam Asi for all of you for being here. And if I could call forward the Famaguan, the yes, the slingers.
Also, can we please have
everybody?
Last year, Brandy won second place in international. Josiah, last year, he won first place in international for the kids category in Spain. Yeah, so we have the great slingers here.